You may be seated. I know this isn't real. Years ago, we had a building, and we had plants in the building. My first start with the first building was down by the Blood Plasma Center, and we had real flowers in there, and we had plastic flowers. So it was my first chance I got to take care of stuff like that. I watered all the plastic flowers, and the other ones all died. There's a dichotomy of God that He's so powerful, but He's also so delicate. Imagine Him creating a flower, a real flower, and how His hands went into every detail of that flower, and how the perfume of it, and how it was shaped. And there's so many different kinds of flowers, and how He delicately thought of that for a long time before He made it, and then He made it, and He just loved it so delicately, but so powerful. But then you can take something like a lion. I like lions. I don't like cats. I like lions, though. And how He delicately made the mane and the rippling muscles and the strength of it, and made it for the great roar that could be heard 5 miles away. And how He delicately made this strong, powerful animal. And how He thought about it for a long time in every detail. How He made it. Even the universe. When He made the universe, He spoke into existence. So great, it's still spreading out after He spoke. He says it's stretched out. And scientists have found out that's true. And all the beautiful colors and shapes, and no planet is the same, no star is the same. No solar system or galaxy is the same. No moon is the same. They're all so different. In how He delicately thought of that in every little minute detail. And yet, by His delicate power, it was. But in all of that, His greatest creation was you. And He took Adam and He knelt down in the dirt. And He took Adam and He started forming him. And the body is so incredibly made, we can't even duplicate the eyeball in its fullness. We can't. It's so far beyond. We can put labels on things and kind of know systems of things, but we don't even begin to know what the body's like. You're a walking miracle, that body He's given you. And He majestically made this man in His image. Just like He made you. It says in Psalm 139, you were weaved in your mother's womb. He's the weaver. And then He put a soul in Adam, and He put a soul in you. That's your personality. And He gave you certain abilities. And everybody's different. Every person you've ever known in your life, every family friend or family or friend, no two are the same. And somehow got made in God's image, every human being is totally different than each other. But we're all made in His image. But then the key, it doesn't say it about the universe. It doesn't say it about a flower. It doesn't say it about a lion. He knelt down and kissed Adam and breathed His Spirit into him and gave him life. He kissed him and he became alive. And he kissed you and you became alive. Delicately, but powerfully. That's our God. And don't confuse those two. Yes, can God move in a powerful way? As man, we think we know so much because we are made in his image and we can make things, but we can't create something. We can't create something out of nothing. You've heard the story where a guy went up there and says, "You see what I made?" And he had this thing he made out of mud and everything. Aren't you impressed, God? And God says, trying to think he was as good as God, and God says, "That's pretty cool. Next time you create your own dirt." There's a holy difference. He creates, we make. And that God, you need to know he's tender and gentle, and he's delicate, and he loves you, and you're precious to him. Everybody in here, as I often say, is a little boy and a little girl. We got to impress God. I was talking to our retired soldier here, and I have he's been in Iraq and Afghanistan. And I have such an admiration and such a respect for our military, especially if they've been in combat. And I was telling him a key thing I look for in people is humility. There's nobody humbler than God. I mean, God's God, and yet he wants to be your father, wants to be your friend. He's God. And I said, humility is macho. Humility is tough. We think toughness is, toughness. It takes humility, vulnerability to God, to his spirit. And most people don't have courage. He gave me a picture when he got to my house, a photograph. It's framed. What does it say, Manny? It's a guy the main quality of a warrior is courage. And it shows it. He has a rifle there. And I said, I teach that all the time. But courage isn't this. Courage is this. Courage is loving people, accepting them there where they're at, serving them, helping them where you can, not judging them, but blessing them. That's what courage is. It's humility. And sometimes we get that mixed up. Courage is loving your enemy, praying for those that persecute you. Let me tell you, courage is accepting God's love for you when you don't think you deserve it. And you know what? I agree. You don't deserve it. Like I don't deserve it. That's why it's called grace. He loves you. He cares about you. And in that power, some churches focus on reverence, and I like that. I was raised Catholic, and that's what I learned from the Catholics. Reverence is an important thing, and it's missing out of many churches. But I also like power. I've been in Pentecost for a long time. But sometimes I'm not saying God can't move. I've seen God move in some pretty dramatic ways in my life. But power, when it's sent with gentleness, it's powerful. And you must know that you're the crown of his creation. And that's how he created you. And that's what he loves you. And as I said earlier, every person is made differently. Every relationship you have on this earth is different. You don't love each sibling. You love each sibling, each cousin, each friend you have a special relationship with. Sometimes you can't figure out, do I like that one better than that one? Maybe for the moment you do. But you see, God has a relationship with you that is unique to him, that he has with nobody else. He loves us all equally because he is love. He'll reward us differently because he's just. But he has a unique, special relationship with you because he powerfully and delicately created you. And he made you, and you were in the loins of Adam as the world began. I have one more thing to say, and then we'll go back to worship. You see, when you reach out to somebody, you always win, although we're doing it for God and doing it for them. If you reach out to somebody and you're able to love them and help them in their life, what a reward. But if you try to help somebody and they burn you, and that's happened to all of us, you've reached out, try to help somebody and they burn you, they judge you, they're mean, they betray you, they reject you. You do it in Christ, you get an eternal reward. So either way, you're in a win-win. So just keep reaching out. My brother, the Lord is very pleased with you. God bless you.